Tuesday and welcome. It's been a while since I've been live, so I am on LinkedIn and over on YouTube. So if you are joining, I know it's a last minute thing. I've just done it kind of randomly without pre-scheduling, but of course if you are joining, do drop in your thoughts, comments, and of course any questions. But of course I wanted to give you all an update of kind of what's been going on, but also to talk about boosting mental focus and of course the power of grounding. Okay, because this is something I've been asked about quite a bit actually recently. So this is something that I would love to share. But of course, obviously, one of the kickoffs and goals for me for this month was to make sure that I was back doing my lives, okay, because I've been asked for them for quite a while and I have been missing. So yeah, not missing deliberately, just missing because I haven't actually been doing them, right? So let me just check I am streaming through. Awesome, all coming through my end. So hopefully you guys have got me as well. But like I said, do let me know if there's any questions or specific things that you want to know, particularly when it comes to mental focus. But again, I won't be live too long today because what we want to do is split them up into several sequences so it doesn't become all at one. All right, the reason I don't want to do it all in one is because when we take too much information at once, then it can come into like overwhelmed and we don't actually absorb it. Okay, when we have one or two things which we're focused on, then we're much more likely to absorb them and take them in. Okay, so like I said, we're looking at the mental focus, we're looking at grounding ourselves and actually balancing up. Now, this is the first of what I'm going to call, say, a series of, say, focus elements or live streams, because I'm going to bring in a lot about leadership, some of the things that I've learned from what I've been doing with work at Pfizer and the team there. And of course, these thoughts are not anything to do with the company. Let me stipulate this. These are my lives. This is me. It is not anything to do with the companies I'm contracted with or work alongside. Okay, so like I said, we are looking at mental focus and grounding. So what do we mean by this? Well, okay, you've probably had the situation where you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling stressed, and you're kind of worried about what's going on around you. Now, we've probably heard the term grounding, but what does that actually mean? Well, when you're on that overwhelmed, stressed, and everything else, you're looking at, say, the outside world. Okay, so you're worried about everything else that's going on in the world around you. Okay, now, oh, my phone's just going off, so let me just mute that. But of course, when we're like looking at everything else, then of course we actually get paranoid. Maybe we're worried about what someone else is thinking. Maybe we're worried about what's going to happen. It's the what ifs. Maybe you felt the daydreaming. So maybe you're remembering something from the past. Or it could be you're daydreaming of something that might happen. Okay. So maybe a conversation or something like that. Like I said, there's a lot of maybes because there are a lot of ways that can go for you. And of course, if that resonates, you obviously do let me know. But of course, there are a lot of ways that can tailor. But like I said, if we're looking at mental focus, so the grounding element comes in is because when we're feeling out of ourselves, it's difficult to focus and stay on point with a task, right? So that focus of productivity to actually achieving a goal, it's maybe hitting that deadline on time. And if we're worried about everything else, the what ifs, we're daydreaming, staring out the window, then of course we're out of ourselves, and that's why things take so much longer. So maybe you felt that, that's something we've all come across at some point where we're maybe staring out the window or just struggling to actually focus on our work. Maybe it's the running to the kitchen. Okay, I keep saying maybe a lot. I'm very well aware of that because there are so many scenarios this could come up in. So we find ourselves running for a snack. Maybe you're someone who eats a lot more. Maybe you are someone who stares out the window. Maybe you find yourself playing a game on your phone and procrastinating in that sense. Or maybe you're just picking up the phone, distracting, calling, or even social media. You could be somebody who your way of basically being distracted is by sitting on social media, endless hours of scrolling on Instagram or whatever it is, right? So we have all these different ways, and to ground ourselves means that we sort of bring our energy and our focus back into ourselves, into this present moment, and actually we become stronger. okay? Because we'll stop giving out our energy and everything to everybody else, okay? So even if you're not somebody who believes in the energetic fields, or you're not really into all that sort of more spiritual side, it's still about how you put your focus. If you're constantly focused on everybody else, then you notice how you drain very quickly, okay? So what we want to be doing, like I said, is grounding. Now, grounding can have many ways. You probably heard the things like hug a tree, walk outside barefoot. These are very good ways to ground yourself. However, there are other ways too, and some that don't require you to go outside. So if you're somebody who's in the office, maybe you're working from home, maybe like me, I've just been to the gym, I had a workout, then of course I've come home, and you don't really want to suddenly take your shoes off and go walking outside. Okay, that's not something you want to do. Then, of course, there are ways to ground yourself. And of course, this exercise I'm going to give you today is going to help you ground and achieve the mental focus that you want, okay? And all you have to do is count back from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. Sounds really easy, okay? So if you want to do this with me, then try and take a seat with no distractions, okay? You can stand. There's nothing dangerous that's going to happen to you. But I would recommend you don't close your eyes and start walking, or if you're driving or doing something else. All right, so we don't coexist. But if you're going to do it right now and you're going to join me, then of course, please do close your eyes right now. Now, what I want you to do when you close your eyes and become in this moment, I want you to start focusing on 5 things. So those 5 things can be something you can see, you can hear, you can feel, or you can touch. So just tune into 5 things that you can see, hear, feel, smell, or touch. And focus only on those 5 things. So once you've really got a grasp of the 5 things, really bring them out, let them stand out from the background. Allow yourself to really focus on those 5 things. Then what we're going to do, we're going to let one drift away. So we're going to allow one of those 5 just to drift into the background. And we're going to focus on those 4 things. So allowing the mind to be focused solely on the 4 things that you can see, hear, smell, touch, even taste. And allow those 4 things just to be strong within your mind. Then we're going to drop it down to 3. So allowing one of those 4 just to drift away and become 3 things that you can identify clearly, and allow them to speak to you loud, and feel them or smell them. Whatever sense that you're using, connect with that item. Then we're going to drop it down into the 2. Just releasing off that 1. So there's 2 things that you're really focused on right in this moment. Again, bring them out. Really focus in on those 2. Then you guessed it. We're going down to 1. We're going to release everything else but this one thing. The one thing that you can hear, smell, taste, touch. Whatever sense it is you're using, that one thing, bring it out from the background. Then gradually we're just going to bring our awareness back. Blink open the eyes and back into space. So guys, if you are tuning, you haven't joined me live or you're with the replay, then I hope that's been useful, because what you're doing there is you're shifting from the background and where your focus is at. So we're going from being distracted, all this noise, and we're sort of focusing ourselves. Now, you may have found it really easy, or you may have found it really challenging. A lot of the times we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. So that is a simple exercise. Okay, I've just guided you through it. You can stop, rewind, press play if you're on the replay. But what we are doing is we are actually becoming completely present in our state. Okay, so we become connected with our current environment, right? So we're bringing our awareness back. So often we go for the things that you can touch, but again, that's all relative. How you would sense, you might sense your foot in the shoe, but you might be someone who says, I can sense the floor beneath me, right? It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong. That's the thing. And when you find those, here is the tip for you. Focus on them. I mean, if you're like me, I'm not someone who I can see. I don't see, right? So that sounds really weird. But you may be someone who closes their eyes. I say visualize a nice sandy beach, and you're someone who closes their eyes and you're like, yeah, I'm on the beach. I'm right there. I can see it. Or you might be like me, close their eyes and you're like, what the fuck? I nearly swore there. What is she on about, right? Because not everybody will visualize and see a picture, okay? I'm someone who feels, so I might get shapes, I might get colors, I get other parts of my senses come like to life, right? So you might be the same, okay? Don't be hard on yourself because you're going, I'm trying to sense something and I can't really sense it, okay? Here is my little tip to how to manage this. When you have that little niggle of going, I can't do it, no, describe it. So when I go, okay, I'm sensing the chair, say I'm sitting on the chair, I will start describing how that feels to me. I'll start going, yes, I can sense the fabric and I can sense it, how it touches my legs and I can sense. So I start describing it and eventually the descriptions get deeper, they get bigger, and then actually I get the feeling of it much stronger. Okay, so if you're somebody who's trying to do a visualization, this is not just now, it's in meditation or anything like that. If you're struggling and trying to create resistance, leave the resistance at the door, let it go, and allow yourself to use your senses to describe it to yourself. It's the same when we did that mental focus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You'll probably find when you get from 2 to 1, maybe even from 3 to 2, that it's getting really hard to drop one away. Okay. Start really focusing on all the details of what you're specifically trying to focus on. When you do that, then you will actually find it goes much deeper, right? So that's just a simple grounding exercise that you can do in the toilets. And of course, the more you do it, the actually easier it gets. And it can also go really quickly. So like 2-3 minutes in the toilet, ground yourself, even in a meeting. You don't, like I said, you don't have to close your eyes. You can sort of just take your focus out. Okay, so that's one way. But the last one I'm going to give you is sort of something you could do in a meeting. Okay, it's about bringing your attention inwards. So this is literally going to take you probably 10 seconds. Okay, but when you first start practicing, it feels really weird. When you start grounding and bringing your attention to your body, so that one builds focus and it can actually help deepen your practice. This one you can do anywhere, anytime. Take it. Eyes open, seat, whatever you want, and just start to focus behind your eyes. Okay, just bring your awareness as if you're looking. Maybe you want to imagine it like you're looking in a mirror. Okay, but think about your focus being behind your eyes. All right, then of course, all you do is shift all your focus there. If you're like me, who sort of feels, I start feeling a little pressure around my third eye because I can sense the energy and the focus, the intention that's all going into that space. Okay, you may be someone who's exactly the same. You may be going, I don't feel anything, it's fine, which is totally cool. Okay, it's totally cool what you do or don't feel because it's a personal journey. We're all very different. Just simply the awareness and being aware of that area, then what you'll find is suddenly, one, you shut off the noise. Again, helps with the focus, the distractions, the overwhelm of emotions, but it also brings you into being grounding and present in your body. Okay, now there are much deeper practices to go into, and of course I will help you later on. I'll give you some more deeper practices, but of course I said I don't want to be live for too long when I do these. Okay, so we are going to be looking at things in leadership, and the rest of the month we're going to look at helping you with your performance, your well-being and performance. And of course there's loads of different things, because obviously our healthy habits is not just our workouts, it's not just a meditation practice, it's the little things that we do every single day to obviously create the package. And of course all of us want that healthy, fulfilling life. Now next week, I'm going to talk to you about the 8 dimensions of wellness. So how we're going to look at the boundaries we put in to actually get the 8 dimensions. Okay, I am going to pre-schedule it just as soon as I come off this video, so it will go out live. It will go out pre-scheduled, so you are going to be aware of that one. And then, of course, I'm going to be looking at the upcoming ones, and they are going to be pre-scheduled as well. So if you have any thoughts, comments, and questions, do drop them in the comments, because obviously I'm here to serve you guys. So please let me know how you're getting on. Let me know what's useful. If you tried this and how you felt, of course, that's always helpful because there's others on this journey as well. And of course, I will see you either in the next video or live next Tuesday.